Yes, we are. We are live, my beautiful friends. You see that topic today? I beg your pardon. What are we saying here? I wanted to name it this because begging. Sometimes we forget ourselves and our power, and we plead and we beg and we supplicate because it stems from asking. Asking is law. How so? In order for you to ask for something, you must know what you want. You must have a clear image. Hmm? And when you have that clear image, you project that clear image outward. That is actually asking. It doesn't mean, please, sir, can I have some more? It doesn't mean that. It means when you hear the scripture tell you, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened. What does that mean? It means in order to ask, you must know what it is. You must have a clear image because that is what you will recreate. How will you know what to ask for if you don't know what you want? Same for seeking. In order to seek something, you must know what it is you are looking for. And knocking, well, you know the destination. You know the door number. You know what's behind that door. That's why you would knock on it. So you see, there's never a reason for us to beg or plead or supplicate. Ever. Law says the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. As above, so below, as within, so without. Everything vibrates between two poles, a swing to and fro, creating a rhythm, an ebb and a flow. Every cause has its effect. Every effect, its cause. A projection of your intention, your will, giving life, giving form. That is law. So when you ask, think about this for a moment. You have to know what you're asking for. Why? So that when you give a description, you get the thing back. You say, oh, I want some fruit, and you get an apple. Well, I didn't want an apple. Well, all you said was fruit. Hmm? When you're seeking, you must know what you're looking for. You're knocking. You know what's behind that door. You do know. So you see, at every turn, the law is simply saying, know what it is that you want because it is the seed that you are planting. Nowhere does the law tell you, beg, darling. Let me hear you beg. Does not do such a thing. Why? Because as a beggar, there is shame, there is guilt. There's the fear of rejection, fear of abandonment. You need not beg. The law does not make a beggar of anyone. It puts you in charge of your life and how it unfolds. And sooner rather than later, we is best that we come to that comprehension that that is what the law is doing for us on a daily basis, moment by moment. You see, because the process is this, because we have these bodies and it's a feedback mechanism. When you give a clear description of what it is that you want, whether you are asking, seeking, or knocking. Step one, you know what it is that you want. Think about this for a moment. If you didn't know what you wanted, you couldn't ask. And if you couldn't clearly define what you wanted, chances are you wouldn't get it. You wouldn't. So you see how the law does not put you at the mercy of someone else. The law never has one on its knees. Yes? Perhaps if you're tying your shoes, sure. But the law never puts someone on their knees. Ever. When you find it, you let me know. And this is why that scripture in James, I think it's James. When you pray, what is praying? Pray. What is that? It says, when you pray, believe that you have received. This is what it, believe that you have received. Believe. You need to know. What do you need to know? What it is you're quote unquote praying for. If we simply look, we would see it. You must always know what it is that you want. When you are clear about it, as I said, it's not good enough to say, can I have some fruit? If you send me to the grocery store and you say, just pick up some fruit, what am I supposed to do? Walk down that produce aisle and pick up every piece of fruit? Or is it better for you to define the type of fruit? What if you have an allergy? Define what you want. And the moment you define what it is that you're asking, seeking, knocking, praying about, that is what makes it possible. So I beg your pardon? We don't beg. We don't beg. Oh, but Angela, I've been trying to change for so long. In the wise words of Yoda, do or do not. There is no try. What is it that you want to change about your life? Become clear about it. The law of polarity will assist you. I will tell it to you every day in the same fashion. Because now, the more you hear it, the more you are inclined to test it. And when you test it, you begin to see your level of success. You begin to see what you have the capacity to accomplish. Do you know what it is to have somebody message you crying and say, oh my God, I can't believe I did it? They're in awe of what they've done. Whereas before they just thought their life was just this random thing blowing in the wind. But all they did was get out a pen and paper and become deliberate. And the funny thing is this. They said to me, Angela, as soon as I wrote it down, I heard about an opportunity that matches. And I was like, you don't say. You see, the law also does not require you to force anything to happen. When Neville Goddard says to you, what would it be like if you had the thing? When he says that to you, do you know what he's getting you to do? He's getting you to use the law of mentalism. Correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, and gender. That's what he's getting you to do. Because in order for you to imagine it, well, then you must know what you want. And because we are inside these bodies, it will feel a particular way. That's what he's getting you to do. This. But how we block ourselves, you remember how we do it? We look at somebody who's doing the thing that we want to do, and we go, how dare you? I've been struggling to do that forever, and you make it look so easy. I hate you. That's how we block ourselves. Because we think if we celebrate them, we are somehow robbing ourselves. Get it? Today. If you celebrate the thing that you are creating by way of another, which means they have it, and you celebrate them, do you know what you're telling your body? You're telling your body, yes, that's it. That's the thing. I'm so happy for them. Why? You don't even have to fake happiness for them. You just have to look at it and be excited by it. Because you're now telling your body, yes, that's exactly what it would feel like if I had it for me. And you walk about and you speak about how beautiful it is And then next thing you know, somebody calls you, you get an email, you go somewhere, there's a flyer. It doesn't matter, but you go somewhere. And the thing now, you have an opportunity to partake in it. The very thing you said you wanted to create. That is what I'm telling you today. I beg your pardon. We don't beg, we create. But you see, we spent an entire lifetime. The good Lord knows how many lifetimes. I don't know. But we spent a lifetime being told you can't always get what you want. Shoot, there's even a song. You can't always get what you want. Oh, well, don't aim so high. Or they tell you aim for the stars and you'll land in the trees and then you're closer. Oh, that's what we hear. So what does that program us to do? It programs us to diminish what we think we are capable of. The law is not asking you to diminish. The law is asking you to expand, because that's all it knows how to create: expansion. Why? How can I be so bold as to say it? Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause, which will do what? Cause you to bring about another effect, and the effect will cause you. Cause will bring about another effect. It is always going in that cyclic fashion or cyclic fashion. Round and round it goes. Every cause having an effect. Every effect its cause. You're constantly moving, always expanding. I just tell my butt, okay, not too much now. These jeans still have to fit. But I digress, because expansion is inevitable. But you have to love it, don't you? So you enjoy your body. You enjoy the beauty of who and what you are. This is why. Get our minds around asking. We are not asking because we're hoping to be given. We are asking so we have a clear image of what we are recreating. That is why we ask. I wonder what that would be like. Well, then the answer shows up and you get to experience. Remember that. We ask because it is what we are recreating. It's the image. Because think about it, you cannot ask for something. You can't ask for something unless you know what it is you're asking for. Boy, am I thirsty. Oh, you got anything to drink? You could get anything. They could give you whatever they had that was liquid for you to drink, as long as it was edible, I suppose. But what do you want to drink? Water, Kool-Aid, Tang. Oh, what? So you see, asking, the way we do it now in this world, is to plead or to beseech, beg, supplicate. That's what we learn. But that is not the true form of asking. The true form of asking is being clear about what it is you want to recreate in your life. You ask, I ask, without sometimes even speaking a single word. Without a single word. You think if you sit there and your heart hurts a little and you cry, did you not just ask? Well, indeed you did. So we don't always need words. We don't always have to have words. It is the intention that you, by way of gender, project outward. There's a neuro cap. You put it on, like a shower cap, but it has these little snaps that you put the probes on and you hook it up to the computer, and the computer will read your brain waves. You don't have to say a word, but that computer, based upon your brain waves, delta, theta, alpha, beta, it'll tell you. And each brain wave has a particular association. It just does. When you're just getting up, you're in delta, from sleep. But then you get into theta, where you can program something. You're in a hypnotic state. So the brainwave being read by the computer will tell you what you're thinking and feeling. And you haven't said a word. So today, what is it that you have been, quote unquote, asking and begging and pleading and hoping for? You see why we don't hope? You don't have to hope for anything. Are you clear about it? Are you clear about what it is you want to recreate in your world? That is where we always begin. Even when Neville Goddard tells you, live from the end. Well, you must know what the end is. You must know what the harvest is, so you know what seed to plant. So even from the end, you still have to know what it is you want to experience. Do you know, when you know what you want, there's a level of confidence that comes with that. There's a level of boldness that comes with that. There is. There's a level of surety. You know. And when you know a thing, you don't have to defend it. You can just rest in quiet when you know that thing. That's what is so beautiful about the law. That's what's so beautiful about it. And the reason why I like Neville's quote unquote technique, it's natural. It's what we do all day, every day anyway. You decide what it is you want. Your body will correspond and tell you, hey, girl, this is exactly what we're looking for. And you begin to feel a level of either peace or excitement, because that's the thing you want. Just like this person who messaged me, and all she can do is sit on the sofa in the house that she wanted. And she says, Angela, I never thought I'd have a backyard for my boy. What? This is the level. She said, when I went to bed at night and I cried from the excitement, she's like, but I'm crying now. And I'm sitting here and I can't believe it. She said, I did that. She said, I don't want to brag. And I got back to her and I said, girl, if you don't brag. I said, what do you think you're bragging about? Do you know what? Society has this distorted view of bragging. She was the one who put in the effort to become clear about what she wanted, to allow doubt to leave her by making sure that she understood what doubt was. And when she got up in the morning and she saw that her surroundings was still the same, she said, nope, I already planted the seed. And every single opportunity that presented itself, she took advantage of. Why? Because she was polarized. She wasn't out here saying, it's not going to happen. Nah, she said, nope, I said what I said. I'm saying it with my chest, 10 toes down. I did what I did. And I know it is growing. I don't have to keep looking. I'm a rest easy. Every time she wanted to fret, she said, no, I'm a rest easy. And she found a way to rest easy. And now she's in that house and she's like, I did this? I'm like, well, it sure wasn't me. It wasn't me. So when I am telling you today, you are not begging and pleading for anything. She didn't know how the money was going to come anyway. She didn't know. But it sure unfolded. It unfolded. And that's why she's sitting there right now and she's crying about it, because she's in awe. She can't get past the fact that she did it. She went back through her journal and she read everything that she wrote down. She put her list together. She became clear. That's what she did. That's why I am telling you today, whether it is your attitude, whether it is the quote unquote trauma you want to release from your life, the law is telling you. And the funny thing is, the law doesn't even have to scream and hoot and holler. It just quietly goes about doing what it's doing on a daily basis. And all it is simply saying to you is this what you want to experience? Do you know what you want to experience? But we out here in these streets talking about, that's impossible. That's never going to happen. I've been trying too long. That's what we out here in these streets talking about. You think the law is in the business of making you look bad? You think the law is in the business of deceiving you? No, the law is very straightforward. Plant corn, you got to get it. You cannot go out there and pick peas, because if you pick peas, well, you didn't plant corn. You planted peas. So whether it would be your attitude, any pain you want to let go of, success you want to create, become clear about it. Become clear about it. And when you speak to yourself, you better speak in confirmation. This is why when you are changing your life, you will find the old. You cannot put new wine in old wineskins, which means what? The old friends you used to gossip with, when you change, you can't go back, because it's going to feel weird to you. Not because you don't love them anymore, but you're not there anymore. You're not living that lifestyle anymore. You see, but we want to hold on to the things because we love these memories. Talking about we want to change. Well, if you want to change, make it 180 degrees. Repolarize yourself. Move yourself from where you are to where you say you're going. But in order to know your destination, you better be clear. You can't get in the back of that Uber and tell him, take me to the store, shall you? No car will be moving at this time. Not without a clear destination. So what are you learning today? You're learning today. Become clear. Because it is in the clarity that brings about the possibility of something. I'm going to say it to you this way. All things are possible. You are clear about what it is you want to experience in your life. It is possible. Without clarity, how can you recreate it? So you see, the law is always calling you to what? Knowing yourself, knowing your mind, knowing your still small voice. How do you recognize the still small voice? Your still small voice will speak to you in one of two ways. And you will respond by saying, shoot, I should have done that. I should have done it. Or you will respond with, whew, sure glad I listened. I'm glad I listened, because look at how it turned out. Those are the two ways that you will know the still small voice is spoken. Who is the still small voice? Pray tell. You. You are. How? That still small voice, you understand, is the essence of you. What is contained within the seed? That is the still small voice. But we're taught, you hear voices? You're nuts. But if you sit and perhaps close your eyes if you wish, but if you sit and just breathe, as soon as you start doing that, you'll get an itch somewhere you got to scratch, because this is how it is sometimes. But you'll get past that. Just sit. And all the noise, you'll hear the sirens, you'll hear the horns, you'll hear the dog bird, you'll hear it all. But they will begin to diminish. And then you'll get a little closer to yourself. You'll hear your heartbeat. You'll hear the swish of blood in your ears. And then that too will diminish. And you will be surrounded by the most beautiful, full, silent space. That is what you'll be surrounded by. Surrounded by it, immersed in it, because that is what is within you in the first place. That is what the world tries so hard to drown out. I'll be out here talking about, I'm looking for peace. You don't have to look for it. Become aware that it is already there. And when you do that, you will learn much about yourself. And when you learn those things about yourself, like the sound of that silence, it is accompanied by peace of mind. It is accompanied by that. I can only describe it to you, but now it's hearsay. Take the time to experience it for yourself, and you will understand or comprehend true gratitude. Because when you get to that place, when you come upon it, and you sit in the presence of it, you won't even want to leave. But then you'll discover how to walk in that place all day, every day. And that's when you'll discover that you are in the world, but not of it. That right there. Take a moment and just breathe right now. Just take a moment. Because I need a moment. That's what it is. When you come upon that, you begin now to comprehend that you are most magnificent. You're most beautiful. That's what you'll begin to discover about yourself. But remember, as above, so below. You get to know the fullness of you. But in getting to know the fullness of you, you begin to see something that is far greater. That is where we will leave off this morning. Just bear with. Take your time with it. Because this is why Neville Goddard wrote the book, The Law and the Promise. You see, Sometimes in the world that we live in, we get caught up in accomplishing. We get caught up in having the next best thing. We get caught up in going viral. We get caught up with that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with it. There isn't. It's part of the experience. But always remember where everything stems from. It stems from you, from within you. So this is why the encouragement is there, to get to know you. Because then when you get to know who and what it is that you are, the law tells you if you know the cause, you can predict the effect. Oh yeah, you can become a prophet. Well, you didn't know? You didn't know that if I said, ooh, I'm going to plant this watermelon, you can predict that I'm going to eat watermelon. You can predict it. Why? Because you know the seed planted. That's why. But here we are looking out into the world and saying, oh my God, my life. When your life, the unfoldment of our lives, is taking its cue from us. This is why the law is calling you today. Reminds me of that hymn, softly and tenderly Jesus is calling for you and for me. That's that hymn. It's such an old hymn. But I'm not talking about Jesus today. I'm talking about the law. The law. It is forever calling us to become aware of it so that we can use it. Mind you, we always are, because you can't not. But to deliberately use it. So today, I beg your pardon. We don't beg, we don't plead. We become clear about what we want. And it will begin to feel a particular way in your body. And the same way that we can jump to conclusions and, worst case scenarios. See how skilled we are at that? We'll begin to practice best case scenario. And when you begin to practice the best case scenario, you know what? You've heard the word placebo. You've heard that word. The doctor comes along and says, we've got the cure, and gives you a sugar pill, and you go home and you're cured. And it was just sugar you were taking. It's not the sugar pill that cured you, but it was your what? Your belief in the, you know what? I know what he's talking about. I know this is the cure. Because that's what you wanted to experience. And that is how you were healed, by your mind. But now there's the nocebo effect. You get an incorrect diagnosis and you bought it hook, line, and sinker. Next thing you know, you get the illness. Why? Because you talked yourself into it. Well, how so? Because the body responds. It has to correspond with the image you are holding of yourself. You begin to behave in a fashion that says, you know what? I'm going to start respecting myself. And you put up a boundary that says, this is the way I will be treated, because that's the way you're now treating yourself. Well, then the experiences you encounter must correspond to that essence you hold of yourself, that image, as within, so without. So if you walk with your head down and your shoulders slumped as if the world has you defeated, well then, you can't be made a liar of, and that is what you will experience. But if you stand up straight and you say, nah, dog, the world can't beat me down, I'm going to develop my swagger. And you start to walk like a champion, talk like a champion. Well, Got to reap that harvest. So practice today, seeing and speaking, because you ask, you seek, you knock. The best case scenario. Because when you ask, you're not begging. You are clearly defining what it is you want to experience. You walk into a shoe shop. Oh, I'm here to buy some shoes. I couldn't tell. I didn't know. Why else would you be at a shoe store? You want shoes. What kind of shoes? Platforms, high heels, flats? What? So that when you say to the clerk, I'm looking for a size 7 in this pump, in this loafer with tassels, you are asking not because you're waiting for her to accept or refuse. You are asking so that the image is clear so she can bring it back to you. That is why we ask. It is the same for seeking. What are you looking for? Well, you must be clear. Even if you say, I'm looking for a needle in a haystack, at least you know you're looking for a needle. When you're knocking, well, you must have had a destination to say, go to room 303. And you go to room 303 because you know what you want is behind that door. So today, asking, seeking, and knocking simply means to know what it is you want to experience in your life. Let us take a brief moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space. Who's here? Because I'm looking at you first, YouTube. K. Chanel, Ayapo. Hey, bell bottoms and platforms. Ayapo, we on the same wavelength. Joaquin, the better man, Marjorie, A. Not. Those are the ones, my tongue. Those are the ones who've made themselves known in the chat. And on Facebook, we've got Indy. It is so good. It's so good to see you all. And then on Twitter, we got Jeff, hey, and then the replay gang, Cuddles and Lilith. Looking forward to hearing from them all today. Jeff, thank you for being here on Twitter. Fan base. Who do we have in the space? Hello, Joseph, Ashley, Zeesty, Mike, Coach, Toyera, Baba Banatu, Flo Smiles, L, Miss McQueen, My Melanin, KZ, Oracle Treehouse, Zola, Yolanda. I see you all. Welcome to the space, everyone. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I saw. Hold on, y'all. Excellent. But that is what it means when we ask, when we seek, and when we knock. God is pure diamond. Huh? Delroy. Delroy says he uses the law for a life less stressful. He says it really works. You can't take away Delroy's peace because he knows how it got there. Same for Miss Marjorie. You can't tell her nothing because she knows. She knows. She knows. She put her foot down and she says, nope, this is the way it is. So today, the law is neither friend nor foe. It doesn't deal with that. Can you imagine if the law liked you? Can you imagine if the law did not? That's why the law is impartial. It's impartial, but don't get it twisted. Cause and effect is always on. So if you want to be dark and sinister and evil, you have to reap what you've sown. You can't escape it. This is why Deuteronomy 28 will always tell you, today I put before your life and death. Choose life, though. Choose life. Why? Because life and being expands. It is infinite. Death, on the other hand, well, it's finite. And I'll close with this. You see, sometimes we run around with this thing. We're afraid, right, of our expiration date. But here's the thing. You know why we're afraid of it? Myself included. You know why we're afraid of it? Because of the unknown. But know this. You are already immortal and infinite. Take that as you will, but you already are. We are looking for the elixir of immortality. Do you know why we can't find it? Because we are already it. Looking for your glasses, but you're wearing them. This is what's happening. And this is why we can get sold on, oh, take this and you can live forever. Spirit has no beginning and no end. Yet it is. The body, on the other hand, was created, so it must expire. But the thing that animates the body is immortal. So you don't have to live forever because you are already forever. You are already forever. And I know that's not necessarily an easy pill to swallow because we are attached. We have our families, we have our little ones, we have our chickens, we have our friends. We have things we want to experience. Yes, that's fine. But put them in their rightful place. They are experiences, but the experience cannot ever overshadow the greatness and the vastness that you and I already are. The things that we can experience are simply a sliver, not even infinitesimal. They're so minute compared to the vastness. But because we don't know the vastness, that's why we think this is the be all and the end all. That's why we hold on to it for dear life. But I digress. Today, know what it is that you are. Morpheus says, don't think you are, know you are. That's what he says. And I go back to that line when Neo says, you trying to tell me I can dodge bullets? No, Neo. I'm telling you that when you're ready, you won't have to. That phrase simply means when you know who and what you are. When you know who and what you are, now you know what you are capable of doing. You don't have to, maybe, you don't have to question. You'll know and you will act according to what you know. Why? Because we are already acting according to what we know ourselves to be. It's nothing new. We are already acting that way. And Ayapo, you are correct. Because we have that, I just said we have that fear of the unknown. And so Ayapo says, but is it unknown? Cause and effect. Tells you. If you know the desired effect, you'll bring about the cause. You know the cause, you can predict the effect. So things aren't necessarily unknown. They aren't, right? That's the beauty. They aren't unknown. So today, my beautiful friends, as I prepare for the bowl, remember, you are not asking from a place of either acceptance or rejection. You are asking because in order to ask, you must know what you want to recreate. That is what you're actually doing. You're not begging and pleading for somebody to refuse you or accept your plea. You're giving a command when you ask because you know what it is that you want to experience. There is no other way to ask unless you know. So you see what it comes down to? Knowing the self, becoming aware of yourself. And that is why sitting in the silence will assist you greatly in becoming aware of yourself. The bowl. Thank you all for being here on this lovely Thursday. Hey, Claire. She's over here on Twitter. It's good to see you, honey. Thank you. It is always such a pleasant thing to spend time with each and every one of you. It really is. And I look forward to just being with you. Every morning I do. It is lovely. And even little bit she says hello to. She out here flapping these wings. She's too sweet. Anywho, y'all. Ah, Agnieszka. Welcome, darling, to the space. It's good to see you. Let us go forth this lovely Thursday. And know that you know that you know that in order to ask, you must know what it is you want. And because you know what it is you want, then it is possible to recreate it. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love. Twitter is closed. And YouTube, I love you all. And I shall see you again.